Moulton Theatre, closer to you.
We're here in the heart of Northamptonshire at one of the county's best kept secrets, Moulton Theatre. Tucked away in the sleepy streets of this quintessential English village, there's a lot more to this place than meets the eye. Come follow me. This is a place where I can let go of the confines of the everyday and let my imagination get carried away. In some ways, this is my second home. Come on in. And now we come to the beginning of our tour in the foyer, where often you find that... Neil, aren't you making on stage right now?
Yeah, but you know, as Stanislavski says, an actor prepares.
I see, trying to relate to your character then.
Something like that.
He's off to the bar.
I'm a true believer of of the method actor. You've got to live it to be it.
I put a lot of work and effort into the character that I'm going to portray.
You've got to understand the play.
Reading it and reading it over and over again till you get to know her so well.
I tend to go home and kind of read all my lines and apply things like what other characters say about you, what I say about other characters. That makes your character more like three-dimensional.
He wants to involve the audience with an emotion. What is that? To try and understand that can then give you a much better character, much deeper character.
And there's just that moment where I think I've got her. I know who she is.
I like to think someone who's got a good work ethic makes a good actor. You've got to think about the other actors that you're acting on stage with as well.
I think having spatial awareness as well and realising that just because you're not saying anything on stage doesn't mean you're not acting.
Even though you're not speaking, you're still acting as well.
What's this message? What's the whole point? What did the playwright sit down? Why did he bother in the first place? What's he trying to get across to the audience?
They say actors are, people who want to be someone else.
What motivates them? What drives them? Why are they who they are? Everyone's got a story. It's not just 100-odd pages long.
Sometimes I do a performance and I don't remember it afterwards, and it's not because I didn't enjoy it, but it's because I let myself loose. It's because I'm so engrossed in the character that everything kind of goes, and I come off stage, I'm like, I can't believe I just did that.
Oh, God, in hay fever. It was something that I could really throw myself into. Oh, she was all over the place, Judith Bliss. And then right at the very end, when we was all taking out that, all these flowers came on the stage. It's really difficult to explain the joy that I felt.
I really enjoy serious plays and gritty characters to get into.
The challenging ones are then different. And there was a play called Whose Life Is It Anyway? About a mid-30s man who's involved in a car crash and becomes paralysed from the neck down. So he wants the right to die. Having to convey every emotion and every struggle that this guy had with his own mortality through just my facial expressions and the odd tint of my head was intense.
My favourite play would be A View from the Bridge. I played the part of Catherine. She has a really big journey when she's on stage. She starts off and she's really innocent and she really enjoys the attention of her uncle. And then as the play progresses, things get a bit nastier.
If you know me, I can't keep still. And to try and get the expression and the passion out.
She was very, very difficult to get grips to just because she changes so much throughout the play.
If that was me and I had no opportunity to be me, it's scary. And how would I feel about it?
I like something that, you make the audience come out thinking about it, and some people are really moved by things that they see at Moulton Theatre.
And then, of course, the other one was Calendar Girls. There was so much emotion in that play.
Calendar Girls was one that stands out particularly.
It was so successful that we did extra performances, and then we did a gala performance, and we raised £1,400. We did take our clothes off and we were all very discreetly covered.
I like that purely from a technical point of view, that the effects I had to produce for that. They banned men backstage for that play.
Moving on, let's go to where all the action happens. Our auditorium, of course. Now, I think I just spot our resident directors, Lee and Jill, sat in those chairs. Now, guys, what are you up to?
Well, we're just doing a bit of blocking, which is effectively stage choreography. And as I was saying to Jill, I think that the actors should come in from stage left. Do you think
I think that's a possibility, but what we've got to remember is we've got to look back at the exit in the previous scene before we block them.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay.
It's a bit like choreographing a dance, really, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Absolutely.
To get the vision on stage, it's very important to work with all the people involved in the play, whether it be the actors, stage management, sound and lighting, set design. You have to tell them what you're looking for. You have to explain what your view is.
I have to visualise what it's going to be like. Read the play very deeply on my own.
I think you've got to love the play that you do. That's the most important thing.
You've actually started with something probably very small. You've helped to mould and helped to build. And on that first night...
If you can't relate to the play itself, then I don't think you can really feel the passion for it.
The sound begin and the lights dim and the curtains part. You know that that production is ready to take off.
Now, of course, every director needs a little break from time to time. Now, Jill, looks like you've conjured up quite the master plan there.
Before you do a play, there's a lot of homework to do. And I'm just planning out the set, having talked to Ray, trying to get it down onto paper with the entrances and exits of everybody. Maybe doing some cuts, there's one or two here.
It looks like trying to get the vision in your head onto stage is quite a task, I imagine.
Absolutely, you have to work really hard, but hopefully you have a fantastic end product.
Well, I'm sure you will, and I look forward to seeing it.
Thank you, sweetheart. Something that you have helped to create has actually come to fruition.
We always aim to get the best out of each individual in terms of their characterisation, projection, the movement, working with each other.
When you have auditions, it is quite amazing that sometimes the people that you hadn't imagined could do this part actually are brilliant.
And some people turn up at rehearsals, they're galloping, some are trotting, some are walking.
Maybe just have two characters together and work with those two people on their emotions, on the language.
The idea is to get everybody galloping at the same speed.
And then they start to give the emotions that you want. And once they hit that pitch,
And once you get that,
you know you're well on your way to doing a good production.
Well, I better let you get on with it then.
okay, thanks, Corinna.
See you later.
Bye.
And now, I actually think it's time to step onto these old boards. And here is where the magic happens. And look what I bumped into. So, you just busy finishing off the final touches?
Pretty much. All the painting is finished, and I'm just putting the final touches to this. I've been a visualiser layout artist all my working life. The audience in live theatre like to be involved in the challenge of understanding the play. It isn't like film, it isn't like television. Your first obligation is to the author of the play, then you have to sort this out with the director, and then you have to reflect the mood of the play. Find out what the nitty-gritty of the play is all about.
If the set looks right, then the actors immediately feel that they are in that place, wherever that place might be.
You do have to tell a story with your set design.
Anyway, we've got more people to see, more places to be. See you later, bro. Now, before I take you any further, let's see if I can sneak you in backstage. Now, Helen is our stage manager. And without Helen, there's no show. So, Helen, are you all set now for performance week?
Yeah, we've had a good rehearsal, we're all set, the cast is here, and we're ready to go.
Great. Well, I'll leave you to it then.
Thank you.
When I came to Moulton Players, I was just amazed at the setup and the backup that they have.
Because we do have fantastic people who work backstage with lighting, with sound, costumes, and a wonderful set designer.
We've just been refurbished. The colours are so, well, royal, like a theatre should be.
You feel like you're actually part of something bigger.
It's not a big stage, you know, it's a very small, intimate community theatre, which I absolutely love, and it's nice to kind of feel like, oh, even though all eyes are on you, you're sharing that experience with the audience as well.
And now we're going to go to the place where all the actors transform themselves. Well, you're looking awfully glamorous.
Thank you. Well, thanks to these lovely ladies.
And are you all set for opening night?
Oh, yes, I'm so excited. We've done all the rehearsing now and here we are ready to go.
But when you've got all these people fussing around you and all this bling to choose from, it must be quite an exciting occasion, I imagine.
It's lovely. I love it. This is what it's all about. It's also quite nerve-wracking as well, especially when you're ready to go on.
It's a rush. It's exciting.
The butterflies start coming.
It's a feeling you can't really describe.
And I'm a bit of a pacer.
I am a show-off. I think that's probably what helps.
And then I go on, and then everything seems to just melt away, and there you are. You're immersed in that character right until the end.
Try not to hunch, come on.
There's something quite exciting about performing in front of people who you don't know, because they don't know what you're like as a person, so hopefully when they see you up there, they see like your full character.
You're looking absolutely gorgeous, so I'd best just let you get on with it.
Thank you, Corinna.
Eloise, you're looking rather fabulous too. Thank you. Right, and now I think I'm off to the bar. A lot of racket going on in there. Hello, Claudia. Hello, Olivia. Hi. Oh, hello. What's going on here?
Why, we're having a little tea party, of course. Come and join us if you like.
Yeah. And don't forget the costume cupboard.
Do you know what? People actually say that shoes define a character.
When I was 11 years old, I was taken by my mother to her group. There wasn't a guy in the group that would play the dame in the pantomime. Staunchly conservative. Guys who play dames, that's the point, that's the humour in it. So I wanted to do that, and as soon as I joined Moulton, I always sort of said, well, if you do a pantomime, I'd like to be the dame.
When you're in rehearsals and you're acting anyway, you are hopefully putting your all into it, but as soon as you put that costume, you definitely feel a lot more into the character.
It is so hard to do. Your timing's got to be great. You've got to react to the other characters. You've also got to be the kind of middle ground between the audience and the actors and speak to them as if they're your friends.
When I was in A View from the Bridge, there was a scene where she had to be like a little bit more sassier. She was trying to be all grown up and she wore a slightly bigger pair of heels, and I really thought it changed the mood of the scene, and I was able to become, you know, that little bit more like cheeky and grown up.
And it wasn't because of the breasts. I mean, it possibly was about to do with the breasts.
It's interesting.
Great tea party, girls, but I think there's a real drink waiting for me in the bar.
So he closes the door and goes out, and then you say...
Hello, David.
Hi, Corinna.
Moulton Theatre has kind of got its own family.
Well, I think the camaraderie that exists between the members.
Usual.
Yes, please.
I've kept some in the fridge for you.
Oh, you sweetheart. Thank you.
We've got over 160 members there.
The whole community.
There's a whole gamut of opportunities there.
The backstage crew, and you've got people that just kind of like to come and see every single show, and then you've got the actors.
Is David helping you learn your lines?
Yeah, he's helping me channel my inner Oliver Reed.
Helping front of house when you're not in a play, working behind the bar.
And then there's the Saturday morning coffee morning, which is open to everyone from 10 till 12. Always sure of a warm welcome there and a nice chat.
I just went in there one day, on a Saturday morning I think it was, and we were just welcomed in. I was just swept in.
I said to my wife, we need to go and see what the standard's like. So we booked tickets to see Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And at the end of the performance, I turned around to my wife and said, God, this is really good.
The coffee shop is run by everybody within the organisation. There's actors, directors, people who do the lighting, the sound, and as you can imagine, so many people go down there on a Saturday morning.
Lots of people come along who want to join. And you can get your tickets from there as well on a Saturday morning.
Well, I can't be chatting
all day. I've got to go meet Tony up in the lighting box, so catch you later.
Bye.
Let's go.
Hello, Tony.
Hello.
So, what are you up to this week then?
Well, I'm setting the final balance for the lighting for the play that we've got coming up next week.
And what kind of treatment are we going for this time then?
Well, it's a fairly basic set from a lighting point of view. It's that the trick is to get the light even across the whole stage, because it's a comedy, people want to see everybody at all corners, so the actors can be anywhere and the audience can see them clearly. Then we've got different layers, so I've got the side layer, and then the on-stage layer, and finally the front of the stage, so the actors can be anywhere and the audience can see them clearly. One interesting feature that Ray has built is the balcony with the French doors. They overlook to what is meant to be Mayfair on the 4th floor. So I need to have light at the back so it lights it up looking like a street, and it extends the size of the stage.
It's very clever. You really do get that illusion that there is really another world going on beyond that stage set.
The audience come to see a full production, not just the actors on stage saying words. There's a lot more to it than that. The lighting has a big impact, the sound effects, the special effects, the scenery, everything. It all adds together to make an overall experience.
It's rather like illustrating a picture book. You've got main characters on the picture book, but the background to wherever they're situated is just the same as theatre.
We're actually transporting people to somewhere completely different.
Well, that's what theatre's meant to be.
Exactly.
I love it on a Monday night, opening night, but the audience are all chatting and making a noise, and you think, well, never shut up. You fade that house lights and it all goes quiet. And you have to be very, very accurate with the cues. Even a fraction of a second late with the sound effect can make a big difference.
But there's no such thing as realism on stage. It's all an illusion.
And you get that huge round of applause, you fade the lights, and that's it. You've nailed that show.
You're always thinking about the next play. By the time the production comes around, you're thinking about the next play.
Well, I best let you get on with it, Tony, and best of luck for performance week.
Okay, thank you.
Great, see you soon.
Bye.
Now, after all that running around, I think it's time to finish off that wine in the bar.
Once you start, it's hard to stop really.
I'm only there to play with the toys, really.
There's nothing like the sound of applause, is there?
5 plays a year, it's quite a challenge.
It is probably the best little theatre.
Bringing theatre closer to you.